So you've been running your business for a while and you're wondering, am I making some mistakes? In this video, I will talk about 3 mistakes you may be making as a business owner. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Reni. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today we are doing part 2 of a video and you can watch part 1 up here. And we are going to be talking about some mistakes you may be making as a business owner. I have been a business owner for almost 2.5 years at this point, full time. And I will say I have made a few mistakes, so I want to share some of the mistakes that I commonly see so that you don't have to make them because they can be costly. Also, if you have any mistakes that you have made, please leave them down below because I feel like it can help someone else to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes that you do. Now let's get into the video. Mistake number 1, forgetting to put money away for taxes. This is a mistake that we kind of touched on earlier where some people don't know about different taxes, but some of y'all, you know about the different type of taxes that you need to pay, yet you are not putting money away every single month for these taxes, and because of that you have a fat tax bill at the end of the year that you cannot pay. So what you need to understand when you are a small business owner is that the money that is coming to you, especially when you are a sole proprietor, it is not taxed at all. So in your 9-to-5 or in your salary job, they're already taking the taxes out of your paycheck. So the money you receive is your money and it's all good. However, as a business owner, you are self-employed and therefore you are responsible for taxes. There's nobody paying those taxes for you. Let's say you made $20,000 in your business this year. A lot of people will also spend that $20,000. However, tax time will come and the tax man will be like, hey, you owe us $5,000. And you're like, I don't have $5,000, and it's because you spent all of it. Mistake number 1 is that you're forgetting to put aside money for taxes. So my recommendation for all of you is that you actually have a separate account aside from your business account that you are putting money into, and you keep that money aside for taxes so that you don't spend it. So what I do is that my money comes into my bank account, and then within my business bank account, I also have a business savings account. So if I get $1,000, I'm going to put $300 into a separate savings account and keep that money there. And then the $700 is my money. I can do whatever I want with it. If you also have HST that you're charging, that 13%, make sure you put that 13% in the savings account as well. Then at tax time, you're good and you can just pay off that tax bill that comes without incurring interest. And the reason this is so important is because the CRA does not care, the Canada Revenue Agency, they do not care whether you have the money or not. If you do not have the money to repay them immediately, they're gonna start charging you penalties and it's actually very expensive. So again, mistake number 1, you are forgetting to put money aside for taxes. Let me know if you have ever made this mistake by commenting down below because I think it's pretty common and I was definitely doing this when I had my full-time job plus my side hustle. But now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I know better because that tax bill will be hefty and it will be hard for you to pay back. Okay, now let's get into number 2. Mistake number 2 that I see people making often is that they are neglecting expense tracking and bookkeeping. There are a lot of problems, honestly, when you do this. And when you're neglecting your expense tracking, that means you're neglecting all the money that you're actually spending on your business. So let's say you have a photography business and you are buying props, you're paying for Spotify to entertain your guests while they're at the studio. You're paying for transport to go to different locations. All of these things are different expenses. And a lot of people, for some reason, they don't factor it in or they don't track how much they're actually spending. Because you're not tracking, it's hard to see if you're making a profit or not because let's say you are making $200 from a shoot, but it costs you $200 for the props, for the transport, for the gas for your car, for everything that is happening, then you're not actually making money and you have an unprofitable business. So it's really important to track your expenses. Another reason it's really important to track your expenses is because it allows you to lower your taxable income. So again, let's say you made $20,000 from this side hustle this year, but you spent $10,000 in eligible expenses. These expenses are actually eligible to reduce that taxable income to $10,000. So we have $20,000 minus $10,000, that would bring us down to $10,000 of income, which means you'll only pay taxes on $10,000 of income. So it's really important that, let's say you take an Uber to your shoot, let's say you pay gas for your car, let's say you buy these props. All of these things that are associated with your business are actually business expenses, and you can use that to lower your taxable income. So I want you to work smarter, not harder, okay? So make sure you're tracking your expenses. Another thing is that people are not doing bookkeeping, right? And bookkeeping is basically the process of, okay, I'm gonna see my income and expenses every month. I'm gonna track all of this in a system. One thing you can do to make sure that you are able to do bookkeeping effectively is either one, get a professional to do it. If you're making enough money to justify that, you can hire a bookkeeper or an accountant. Or the second thing you could do is use a tracking system where all of your expenses are tracked through that system. So I will show you the one that I use. And this is Wave. Wave is completely free for business owners. It allows you to send invoices. It allows you to track all of your expenses because you can link your bank account to the account. So I think like it's completely free. Why not? I see a lot of people sending invoices by drafting them up one by one. With Wave, it does it all for you. So I would highly recommend just checking out Wave. I'm gonna show you briefly on my screen so you can see what it can do. But basically, if we go here, you can see there's a sales section, an estimates section, so you can send estimates to people. You can send invoices to people as well. You can set up payments where people can actually pay you directly through Wave, which is amazing. You can actually list all your products and services so you can see how much you're currently charging. And again, the best part is that you can track all of your expenses through here. So if you go to the banking section and you connect your account here, I'm using an account that's not connected just to show you so you don't see all my details, but you can just basically connect your bank account to this and it will show you all of your different expenses that you have. So I think this is perfect. And you can also connect your bank account so it can see how much income is coming into that account. And because of this, you're able to see, what's the difference between my income this month versus my expenses. And again, I think the reason a lot of people don't do bookkeeping is because it feels overwhelming, because they don't know how to, et cetera, et cetera. This allows you to do it automatically. And then you just have to review the transactions that they have. And yeah, so it makes things easy for you. So if you're not hip to Wave, I would encourage you to get hip to it. And again, I hate when y'all be sending me invoices and I can see that you created it one by one. I want you to be able to spend as much time on your business as possible rather than focusing on the admin part of it. So use systems that can help you. So now I am going to show you how to send an invoice. And again, invoicing is important so that you can track how much money is coming in. And then this system also allows you to track what's going out. First thing you'll do is click the invoices section. Then you'll click add customer. Then you will type in your customer name. So let's say we're gonna use customer Reni the resource. We can see all my details on the top left corner. On the right side, it will automatically generate an invoice number, which is great for you, so you don't have to do it manually. And then you can choose the invoice date. So you can choose that today, February 10th, is the invoice date, and I want them to pay me within 30 days or 45 days or 60 days. I don't know why you'd want someone to pay you within 60 days, but yeah, you can choose whatever frequency makes most sense for you and your customer. Then you can choose whatever the service is. So let's say I'm offering content creation services to this person. I'm creating a YouTube video for them and I'm charging them $1,000. I will add that in. I can also add tax here as well. And that is all. Then you will send this over to your customer. You click save and continue. It will ask you to approve the draft. And then once you have done that, you click send to customer. So this one already sent to the customer, perfect. And you can also add reminders to people so that you can make sure that they are paying your invoice. So I can say on the due date, send a reminder to them, 3 days after, send a reminder to them, 7 days after, send a reminder to them, and 14 days after. I do that, but I also add reminders before the due date, where 14 days, 7 days, and 3 days before, they're also getting a reminder. So in case they forgot that I have to be paid, now they know. So this is something that you can add, and I highly suggest Wave. This video is not sponsored, but Wave, if you want to work with me, I would love to. So that's mistake number 2. If you have not been tracking your expenses or your income as well, make sure that you are doing that with a bookkeeping software, and you can choose any one that you want. Now let's get on to number 3. The last mistake that I want to mention to all of you is that you are not keeping your receipts. The reason that keeping your receipts is important, and when I say receipts, I'm talking about, let's say you spend money on gas, let's say you spend money on rents for your business, let's say you spend money on a storage space, let's say you use Google Domains and you pay for Google Domains or Google Drive. These are all things that are business expenses, and for some reason, y'all are not keeping your receipts. It's important, okay? It's very important. The reason it's so important is because the Canada Revenue Agency can actually audit you for up to 7 years after you have filed your taxes. Okay, so it is 2024. They can actually audit you up to 2031 for the 2024 tax years. The reason this is so important is that if in 2020, let's say 2026, they're like, we don't agree with this expense that you tried to claim, you can say, actually, I have the receipts. I spent gas to go from this place to this place, and therefore it is an eligible expense. And then they will say, okay, it's fine. It's fine. But if you cannot prove and provide the receipts to them, they can say, okay, you don't have the receipt, so you're gonna have to pay penalties on this. And that is unfortunate because they will back penalty you. Okay, so they'll basically say, for the past 3 years, you basically owed this, and now we're gonna charge you on this. So I think it's really, really, really important that you keep all your receipts. And also just so that, again, you can see your expenses versus your income, it's also important for that reason. So my solution for this would be to use a drive. Don't keep the physical receipt. I don't think that's necessary because after even 30 days, the receipt starts rubbing off and you can no longer see it. But keep it on Google Drive or another drive that you have and upload your receipts there. So what I do is I take a picture or I scan my receipt with my phone and then I upload it immediately. So the second I spend money on something, I just upload it and I upload it to my cloud. Anytime in the next 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years, whenever they want to pull up on me, I can basically say that I have the receipts and I can prove that I did spend money on what I said I spent money on. Another thing, if you are working with a tax expert on your taxes, it is just so much more helpful if you can provide the receipts to them. Okay, so just make tax time easier for you by keeping all of your receipts, a copy of all of them on your computer. Okay, so those are the 3 tax mistakes that I see people making often and that I want you to make sure that you are not making. Let me know, which mistake are you guilty of? If there are any others that I didn't mention, also leave them down below because again, it can help somebody else to make sure they don't make that same mistake. If you did like this video, please leave a like on this video and share it with somebody who is a business owner who you think can benefit from this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Bye.